All right. So after the introductions that we had, I think now we are able to work out as much questions as we can. We managed to work with the straight lines, working all the properties of a straight line to the uh, parallel lines. So just hope you are with me on this part. Remember, just a basic before we attempt our questions, we talked of angles that can be found on a straight line, that angles on a straight line, they add up to 180 degrees. So if you're given this condition, angle 1 plus angle 2 plus angle 3 is supposed to give us 180 degrees. All the angles that are on a straight line, whether they are two angles or not, we also consider a right angle that is on a straight line. If this is 90 degrees, remember a right angle is a 90 degrees. This is also gonna be a right angle on the other side, meaning to say if this is 90 degrees on one hand, another one is going to be also a 90 degrees. That is the whole procedure of your question. Okay, so the concept of a straight line is not going to change. The concept there is not going to change. Angles on a straight line will remain 180 degrees. Okay, the concept of a straight line does not change. So if this is 90, this is also 90. Angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees, whether they are two, they are three, whatever that you are given, guys, angles on a straight line add up to 180. We also talked of the parallel lines. When two lines are drawn and they are parallel to each other, the arrows are used to indicate that, and a transversal line can be drawn, creating angles, so many angles that can be created that we can consider the corresponding angles. Talking of this part that I also explained from the phonics concept that you can also consider in your revisions, talking of the corresponding angles which are equal, talking of the alternate angles which add up to 180 degrees. So these ones, they add up to 180 degrees. Then we talk of the alternate angles. If these two lines are parallel, then this angle and this angle are alternate angles which are equal. Then we also talk of the vertically opposite angles, this angle and this angle being equal. Also, this angle and this angle, on the other hand, also being equal. So these are the major properties of what you're going to have. So from the corresponding to the alternate angles to the vertically opposite angles, these are equal. It's only the part of the co-interior angles which add up to 180. Only the part of what? Of the co-interior angles which add up to 180. But as we are talking of the alternate angles, as you are talking of the vertically opposite angles, these ones, they are all equal, okay? As you are talking of the corresponding angles, these are all equal. Corresponding angles. All right, so that's it, guys, just for a basic understanding. We talked about this, so we just need to quickly rush through our questions. So in this case, we are asked, in this revision exercise A, calculate the value of the angles indicated by the small letters. So there is X, there is Y, there is X, there is Y. These are the letters that you are given. Calculate these values. Okay, so first question, what will be the value of X? If you are to consider this, you are referring to a straight line. And what is it that you must consider on a straight line? Angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. There are three angles that we are given on this straight line. Remember, this here is a 90 degrees. So we have got a 90 degrees there. So we are given three angles. So these three angles, they are supposed to add up to 180 degrees. That is angles on a straight line. So number one, we can consider the X plus the 44 degrees plus the 90 degrees that all these angles that you're given, it is supposed to be equal to 180 degrees. That is angles on a straight line. So you can simply add your angles that you are given that is, we are going to obtain x. Remember, you're supposed to solve, so add the 44 plus 90, which is going to give us 134. In this case, we are going to obtain 134 degrees, which is equal to 180. So let's solve for x. We can simply transpose the x, this 134 to the other side of the equation. It was a plus, so on this other side, it is going to be a minus. So you're going to subtract 134 on the other side of your equation. So x was going to be the difference there, which is 46 degrees. So x was going to be 46 degrees. You solve the equation that you're given. All right, so that's x for you. Number 2, we are given to calculate the value of y. And these two lines, they're straight lines. This is a straight line. There is a straight line. So what is that we understand about these two angles that we are seeing here? These are vertically opposite angles. Remember, vertically opposite angles are equal. So y is equal to 86 degrees. That's vertically opposite angles. All right. Considering on question number 3, we also have the condition of the vertically opposite angles here. If you just consider this line like this, and also this line like this, these are straight lines. So there we have got vertically opposite angles, y and these 32 degrees. So in this case, y is equal to 32 degrees. So if this y is 32 degrees, you can calculate the value of x. Remember what we had before. This here, a right angle, represents 90 degrees. So you can use angles on a straight line. 90 degrees, x, and these 32, they lie on a straight line. These are angles on a straight line. And we do understand that angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees, all right? So that is our major concept. So you're going to add the x, or everything that you are given there, 90 degrees, the x, and y, which is 32 degrees. Remember, y is 32 degrees. We add everything. This is supposed to be equal to 180 degrees. Angles on a straight line. Just like that. So you can simply solve your x in this case. If you want to add these two, it's up to you. Or you can simply take them, all of these, to the other side. The moment that they just cross the equal sign, they change their side. So 90 degrees this side is going to be minus 90 degrees. 32 degrees this side is going to be minus 32 degrees. So guys, the way that you solve, it's in your hands. So you simply have to subtract 180 minus 90 minus 32 degrees, which was going to give us 58 degrees. So that is the value of x here, which is 58 degrees. So if you add these angles here that I'm indicating, you're supposed to obtain 180 degrees. That is the angles on a straight line. All right. Let's move on to another question, which is question number 4. On question number 4, we can see that there we have got also the condition of vertical opposite angles. Look here. We have got the straight lines intersecting like this. So thus we've got vertically opposite angles, the angle of 40 degrees and this angle at x. So meaning to say this is going to be 40 degrees vertically opposite angles. Okay, this way, guys. Let me put it this way. I hope you're seeing this one. Let me indicate it so that you see it. Let me remove this one. Okay. Let me remove this one. Okay. Let me do it this way. Let me start with this one that is clear. This one here and this one like this. Okay. So that you can properly see that is 40 and 40. And if you're to consider the first one that I indicated, this one, if you consider this one, it is still the part of a vertically opposite angles, but then you have to consider the wall of this angle to the wall of this angle. So you must be careful. You must be very, very careful. Okay, no problem. So by knowing that this x is 40 degrees and there is also x, whenever you're given the same letter, this is x, they are simply showing you that these two angles are the same. So if this is x, which is 40, this is also going to be 40 degrees. Okay? That is what they are simply telling you there. Same letter, it means same value. So x was going to be 40 degrees, which is the same x that we are seeing here. So we can calculate the value of y in this case, using which concept? From L to M, we are forming a straight line. And we do understand that angles on a straight line, they add up to 180 degrees. So if I add this X, which is 40 degrees, plus this Y that I'm having here, plus the 40 degrees there, I'm supposed to obtain 180 degrees. That is angles on a straight line. So just like the previous case, we can take this to the other side, which is fine, or you can simply combine 40 plus 40, which is 80. So 80 plus Y is equal to 180 degrees. So meaning to say Y is equal to, you take the 80 to the other side, it was a positive. So this side, it is going to be a negative. You're now solving equations. That's an equation that you're having there. So 180 minus 80 is going to give us 100 degrees. So that is the Y and that is your X. Just like that, all right? So all these guys must be able to understand from the concept. They were given on question number 5, where now they are parallel lines. Remember, if lines are being drawn and we see these arrows that we are given there, these are parallel lines. So how can we calculate the lettered angle, which is M? All right, what is the relationship between these two angles? Look here. Look, we are forming F. That's an F that we are seeing here. Corresponding angles where we form an F, and this angle are equal. So meaning to say M is also equal to 144 degrees. These are vertically opposite. These are corresponding angles. Sorry for that, guys. That is corresponding angles. Okay, just like that. What about A? Same concept. There we've got an F, but look the way that it is here, that's an F. Just like this. So this angle A and this 100 will be equal again. So that is 100 degrees that we are going to have at this point, all right? So that is the whole concept that you're going to have. It must have a reference of what you are referring to, okay? So that's part of our corresponding angle. So A was going to be 100 degrees. Then if you see, that is the same application that we are also going to use on question number 7. If you check your question 7, there is a 160 degrees. Then there is angle Y here. This is Y there. So these are parallel lines. So the angle here of 160 degrees and this angle Y that we are seeing, they are also forming F here. Look, the way that we are having our F, it can be like this. So meaning to say Y is also 160 degrees. So that is how you're going to answer these questions. Let's consider question number 8. We have got our parallel lines, which is fine. Then from there, if we are to consider, we can calculate X first, all right? Angle X and 85 degrees are on a straight line. So remember that angles on a straight line add up to 180 degrees. So meaning to say X, we can simply subtract from 180 degrees, we subtract 85 degrees, and that was going to be 95 degrees. So if X is 95 degrees, Y also is going to be 95 degrees. Remember, our corresponding angles, there we are forming an F. One is inside, one is outside. So Y is also going to be 95 degrees. From corresponding angles, Y is equal to X. So that's the whole situation of these questions that we are seeing here. On question number 9, we are seeing there A and this 146, we are forming a Z like this. That's a straight Z, alternate angles. Alternate angles. This angle and this angle are alternate, they are equal. So A and 146 will be equal. So meaning to say that's 146 degrees. So A is equal to 140 degrees. We are talking of the alternate angles, the ones that form a Z. On question number 10, still the same concept. As you can see there, we are forming a Z. So B is also 113 degrees, okay? That's alternate angles. Again, with the same situation, we are going to see to find X there, that's a Z, which is being formed, just like concept of an N there. So meaning to say that's 136 degrees. They want you to understand all these basics. The way the lines are drawn is not important. You must understand what are you forming, okay? Are you forming the N or the Z? Okay, what about this part? We had a similar question. X and 81 degrees are on a straight line. So meaning to say we're simply going to subtract the 81 degrees from 180 degrees to obtain the value of X. That's 180 minus 81, which is 99 degrees. So if this X is equal to 99 degrees, Y also is going to be 99. Look, we are forming a Z there. So those are alternate angles again. So Y was going to be 99 degrees. All right, number 13. We move on. There we have forming a C, like from the U concept of the phonics, where you form a U or a C. Those are co-interior angles. And we know that co-interior angles are supplementary. They add up to 180 degrees. So A is going to be 180 degrees minus 116 degrees. These two angles, they add up to 180. So we are simply going to subtract the 116 from the 180, and that was going to be 64 degrees. Those are alternate. Sorry, guys. These are co-interior, all right? Sorry for this. We are talking of co-interior angles, and we know that co-interior angles are supplementary. Same concept on question number 14 that is happening here. We can see that B and 120 degrees, again, we are forming that C here. So those are co-interior angles. So to find B, we're simply going to subtract 120 degrees from 180. So B is 180 minus 120, which is 60 degrees. So this angle will be 60 degrees. On question number 15, still on the application of our parallel lines, there we are given, that is to consider the lettered angles, and the letters, it's Y and Z. These are the letters that you are given there. And there's an angle that you are given of 124. Take note, these two lines are parallel. So from these two lines that are parallel, we can see that we are forming an F here. We are forming an F. So these are corresponding angles. This angle here and this angle here, they are corresponding angles, meaning to say the angle is going to be 124 degrees at this point. So how is this going to help us to find Z or to find Y? All right, let's start with the Z. These two angles, they are on a straight line. 124 and Z are on a straight line. So Z is simply going to be equal to 180 minus 124. Angles on a straight line, remember, they add up to 180. So these are adjacent supplementary angles. You simply have to subtract that from 180 degrees, which was going to give us 56 degrees. So this angle Z is 56 degrees. So Z and Y, if you are to consider from these two lines which are parallel, because these two lines are also parallel, there we are forming an F. Look here, we are forming an F from these two parallel lines. The angle Y here and the angle Z. What is it that we do understand whenever we form an F? These are corresponding angles which are equal. So meaning to say Y is also 56 degrees. So if Z is 56 degrees, Y was also going to be 56 degrees. That is corresponding angles. Or you can use the co-interior angles between this 124 and the value of Y there. They are co-interior. So you can subtract 124 from 180. You still obtain the 56 degrees. That's what you can have there. Number 16. Same concept, just like the previous case. There we have got parallel lines. So we can simply obtain the value of X because we've got corresponding angles. Look, you're forming an F. So this X and this 86 degrees will be equal. So X here is going to be 86 degrees. We are talking of the corresponding angles where we form an F. How can we determine the angle B? There we have got parallel lines again. So the angle B and the angle X are co-interior, where we form that U or the C like this. So we are talking of the co-interior angles B, and these 86 degrees are co-interior angles. So B is equal to 180 minus 86 degrees. Remember, co-interior angles are supplementary. So we subtract from 180 degrees, which is going to give us 94 degrees. So that is our angle B will be 94 degrees. If you add angle B and this angle X, which is 86, you must obtain 180. These are co-interior, but these two were corresponding where F is formed. So they will give you diagrams like that where you need to apply everything that you are given there. Question number 17, we are given again the letters there. All right, there's letter B. Okay, there is M, D. Okay, there's this M. I think M was here. All right, so let's see. The 63 degrees, these are the only lines which are parallel, this line and this line. Okay, so what can we do with the 63 or the 94? We can calculate D. In fact, D, we can just state it because these are vertically opposite angles. All right, the 94 and the D are equal vertically opposite angles. Now, if we consider the 94 degrees and the B, these are co-interior angles. Look here, we are forming a C like this. We are forming a C. So meaning to say, if this angle is 94 degrees at this point, this one is going to be what? From 180 degrees. So B is 180 minus 94 degrees. There we are referring to the co-interior angles, which is going to be 86 degrees. So there we have got 86 degrees. And that's our angle M here, vertically opposite angles. So M is also going to be 86 degrees. These are vertically opposite angles. So the 63 degrees, there was no use for this one because we are not forming anything. Yes, we can take this one to be a corresponding angle to this, but it does not help us at this moment because there is nothing that we are calculating. I do not know if there was any angle that was there this day, but for what is visible, this is what we can see, guys. All right. So that is what we had from this activity. Let us do as many questions as we can. So these are the activities. You can just redo this on your own, then answer, then mark yourself using whatever that we're having so that you truly understand that. You truly test yourself to see if you understand whatever that we're doing. So that's what you had, guys, from Maths Zone African Motives. Till we meet again.